What's up, you guys? It's your girl JoJo, and I'm feeling quite stupid because I've talked for at least 7 minutes and I never hit record. I'm telling you, it's that kind of week. But I hope y'all are doing well today. It is Monday. This review is very late for Family or Fiance Season 2. Of course, I don't know the episode number, but I'll have it right at the bottom. I'm feeling a little frustrated because I actually recorded this video yesterday morning. Went to open my computer to upload it last night, and all of my videos were gone. I don't know if my computer rebooted or if it updated or what it did, but I have no videos, including the Married at First Sight video I had already recorded. I just needed to get it edited down, and I don't know if I'm going to re-record that video or not, because I probably spent an hour and a half to 2 hours doing that Married at First Sight video. Of course, I was going to edit it, but I spent a long time trying to get through my notes and trying to remember everything, and I had to start and stop a lot, and I don't know if I got it in me to record again. Plus, it's so late, but I may re-record it and still put it up, you guys. If I do decide to, you'll see it, and I actually had an announcement to make in that video, so I kind of do need to record it again, but I just don't know if I have the energy. So anyway, this video wasn't too much, so I don't mind re-recording it, although I'm a little perturbed. So we have Sheri and Micah. Sheri and Micah have been together for a brief amount of time. They actually got engaged 5 months into their relationship. Please remember that, because it's going to play a large part in what happens throughout this story. Now, this episode I can never say that word. This episode in particular kind of ticked me off, because it was one of those episodes where you could have told me this at home. So when we get started, the two of them are talking about how much they care for each other, how they met. Sheri was the one who shot her shot first. She went and sat with him at the lunch table. She was feeling him, and they've been together ever since. Now, Micah is a rapper and a producer. And I don't want to step on any toes of the creatives, because I'm not that much of a creative person, but I want to be understanding. But I will say that whenever we hear somebody's trying to be a rapper, especially when they are of a certain age, it's a lot of trucks around me, y'all, sorry. When they are of a certain age, we tend to give it the side eye. Now, I know 2 Chainz got a lot of people thinking that you can make it as a rapper, in your late 30s, and you could get your big break. And you could. But I will say that is not the norm, okay? Rapping tends to be, like Jay-Z said, a young man's sport. So, producing, though, maybe. Definitely producing. So Micah works part-time IT, full-time he really wants to put his effort into his music. So that is also a concern of theirs. So when we get started, we have Sheri's family coming. That is her brother, sister, and her best friend. And for him, we have his mother, his cousin, and his best friend. So when we sit down and listen to everybody's concerns, of course, the best friend on Sheri's side mentions the timing. She understands that Sheri's biological clock is ticking, but she doesn't want her to rush anything. I said, let me tell you something, best friend. Now, I know we cool and all, but you don't mention my biological clock in front of mixed company. I'm sure we all know it's ticking, but you ain't got to do all of that. And if anything, what we needed to mention was that shirt that you had on that was about 2 to 3 sizes too small. It was all grabbed up on your stomach. Now, if you can mention clocks, I can mention the shirt. It's only fair. But anyway, then we have the brother and sister, and their concern is not only the length of time, but the finances. We need to know that our sister is not with a bum. Okay, that brother was not playing. He didn't crack a smile. I need to know that my sister is not with somebody lazy. I need to know that you're going to be able to provide for her as well as the family. I don't want her being with somebody where she has to foot all of the bills. All right, so we got that. Then we get over to Micah's side, and Micah's mama really is not feeling nobody trying to call her son lazy or a bum. So she's trying to get herself together over there. And she mentions that she just doesn't want to see Micah shut down or lose his voice inside of a marriage. And so that is one of her concerns. And you can kind of see that early on, it seems that he would do anything to please Sheri, so you can see how that would happen with him. Then we have his best friend, Ernest, cousin, who really just kind of met Sheri recently. Like, he doesn't even really know her. But he's concerned about the career and whether or not she's going to be supportive of it and whether he's going to continue or not. And then as well as the length of time, of course. And the best friend is concerned about the length of time and whether or not the two of them are ready, because when you proposed, you were in the doghouse and everybody was just like, The doghouse. Yes, you guys, Micah was in the doghouse. Okay, Micah and Sheri had gotten into it over some messages that were in Sheri's tablet that she was sending to other men. And so Micah said, well, two can play at that game. And so he was sending messages to other women that Sheri found, got upset, and she cut it off with them. Well, not even really cut it off. She just stopped speaking to him. And he didn't know what was going on. So he was trying to reach out to her, calling her, messaging her. She wouldn't return his calls. And he pulled up on her with an engagement ring after 2 months. Well, 2 additional months in their relationship. And she said yes. And so at this point, they had been together 5 months. So now everybody is extremely alarmed because not only did you guys get engaged fast, but y'all weren't even speaking to each other around the time that y'all got engaged. So what was this all really about? So we move into the different processes. So Micah's job is to kind of make the family members feel secure that he's going to be able to have the money to do what he needs to do. And Sheri's job is just to answer the questions of the family members so they can get a better perception of her, because they tend to think that Sheri is bougie, okay, according to cousin Ernest. Now, what I will say about Sheri, now when she looked slim up front, but then when they panned on baby girl from the back, I said, well, I see how it might have only took you 5 months. You just really didn't expect her to have any type of butt like that, but it was kind of big for her very, very small frame. I guess she would be the definition of a slim, thick type, but it could have been the dress she had on. But it just surprised me, so I mentioned it. So anyway, Micah is with the family. And the family is asking him questions, of course, about money, resources, their producer job. Is this going to make you any money? Like, what are you really going to do? And Micah is just like, I got it. You know, with producing, I could make a lot of money tomorrow. You know, it's a slow process, but I could possibly make this money. And they kind of seem like they're more along the lines of, like, are you going to get a job to help out? Because right now, what are you paying? And he was just like, well, right now I'm paying the light bill, and I said, Micah, it's not looking good for you. Now, I know you got to be paying more than the light bill, okay? Although that can get high, but I'm just saying you got to pay a little bit more than that. So, the brother is looking even more concerned. And this is why I always say, creative people, you either have to be with a billionaire, okay, somebody with a good bit of money. That's an exaggeration, of course. But you have to be with somebody who is either extremely financially stable, because there are going to be times where you won't be, or you just need to be with another creative person that's willing to grind it out and eat oodles and noodles and live in your mama's basement until you make it. Y'all need to either be each other's equal, or you got to be with somebody that's extremely secure. So the brother says, well, if you really feel that way about Sheri, okay, because Micah says he loves her and he would do anything for her, then you would have no problem filling out this prenuptial agreement. I said, why does the brother have a prenuptial agreement on the sister? Are we serious? Is she slow? Does she have a disability? Does she get an SSI check? Does she need somebody, a guardian, a guarantor, a representative over her life or her funds? No. So Micah is shocked, but he signs it. And I'm just like, see, this is what your mama was worried about. This is what your mama was worried about, because you already cowering and going for anything. Don't you sign no paperwork until you have your lawyers look over it. Now, I know you probably don't have, I don't have no lawyer either, but I would have acted like I had one that day. I would have took that paper and said, okay, I'm going to have my lawyers go through it, and, we'll talk about it, and I'll talk to Sheri about it, and I appreciate y'all for this. Thank you. I wouldn't have signed nothing. I ain't got nothing to prove to y'all. But I guess you do, because the show is Family or Fiance. So he took it. He signed it, all the while saying that, man, this is crazy. No, you crazy. Don't you sign that paperwork. So, over on Sheri's side, we got Sheri trying to answer the questions of the family. They really weren't hemming her up all that much. Their main thing was, are you supportive of his music? Are you supportive of his career? Are you supportive of him? And do you guys really want this to be a thing, given the way that you guys got engaged? And yeah, she really does want it with Micah. She really does want to be with him. She's supportive of him, all of that, right? So when they get back to the table, of course, it's always one family member that's got to get it popping, like what happened during the separate sessions. And so that does happen. And this is when the prenuptial agreement comes up. And it starts a whole argument. It starts a whole thing going on. And the brother and sister are kind of just like, well, after this whole thing of finding out how they got engaged, I feel like you kind of forced her into a corner. You forced her hand. You made it feel like she had to say yes. She felt pressured. She had to say yes. She didn't even tell us about it. That's another thing. Sheri never told her family about this situation and how it had played out. So they're just going on. And Micah's mother said the one thing that I felt like made the most sense the entire episode. If anything, hold on, I gotta go to my notes. I thought I was gonna have it. Oh, when the sister says that they were rushing and that Micah rushed her, Micah's mama said they both were rushing. They rushed each other, and I agreed. Because just like the mama said, Micah might have asked her for her hand in marriage and he might have pushed up on her, but she also said yes. She didn't have to say yes. She could have said no. And they start going back and forth about that. And so then when the prenup comes up, Sheri's letting her brother and sister just kind of go on. And she just sitting over there like, looking around with her big eyes and all just so confused. So you can tell that she probably is one of those people. I don't think she's the youngest, but she might be one of those people that's used to having folks fight battles for her. She doesn't have to say or do much because her brother and sister got it on lock. So while her, the best friend, and the brother is going on, Sheri's just sitting there. And Micah's mama said, well, look, if it's that big of a deal, why don't you just break up with Micah and then let him get his career together over here and y'all just not be together? And then maybe later y'all can come together. Y'all don't need to get married. I want to know who was the family member that blurted out, neither one of y'all have enough money to even have a prenup. I said, that's the real tea. That's the real tea. You don't even have enough money for these documents. So Sheri is now upset with the mother because she feels like the mother is coming at her too hard, and she's just crying and saying it's too much for her. The way she was coming at me. So Micah's trying to console her, and I'm just sitting there looking at Sheri like, girl, please do not cry. This is all a deflection away from the fact that you was in cahoots with your brother and sister to get that prenup out there. You can't tell me otherwise. So later, the brother and sister get a chance to go with Micah to hear his music. That way they can get more of an idea of his talent and where he's going with it. And the music sounded good. I'm not even going to front. Even the sister, she thought it was a bop. I saw her head moving. I was moving too. Now the brother, on the other hand, he didn't move not an inch the whole time. I was like, dang, not even the groove get you, huh, brother? Micah looks nothing like his rap voice sounds. Even the other producer mentions that. He works with a popular producer. But the beats are good. The production is good. The sound quality is clear. So if anything, I think the producer thing would be very good for him. The rapping thing, I don't know. He doesn't sound bad, but I just don't know if Micah will be able to fulfill the rap persona that people these days like to see. I don't know about that, but producer may be in his future, most definitely. So the brother is more accepting now that he's got to hear his music. He thought it sounded great, so he's feeling a little bit better about it once they get back. What did Sheri do? Did she do anything additional with the family? No. After their counseling session, Sheri is instructed to go and talk to her best friend because Sheri has been keeping secrets. And Tracy has to get her to understand a lot of the things that we see as privacy is really us just holding in secrets. And I even had to examine myself when she said that. She also mentioned the fact that Sheri did know about the prenuptial agreement, even though Sheri was sitting there talking about, well, Sheri, did you know? Here goes Sheri. My brother and my sister, they had discussed it with me. Okay, so you knew. I'm telling you, this season, Tracy gets straight to the point. And she was wrong for that. I agreed with Tracy. That wasn't okay. If anything, that's something you and Micah should have discussed together. He shouldn't have been ambushed with it. So she goes to talk to the best friend, and she is able to piece together with the best friend that maybe she is rushing this. And not only is she rushing the marriage, but maybe she rushed the engagement, because when he proposed, she got caught up in the moment, even though she knew she wasn't really ready, and she said yes. And so the best friend is looking like, so basically you're telling me that you don't want to be engaged to him anymore. And Sheri said yeah. So I don't know why she couldn't have told him this at home, like I said, but she doesn't want to be engaged. So they go back to the house, and I'm thinking that she is going to let Micah know during the next counseling session, hey, I don't want to be engaged, before the blessing ceremony. But no, what Sheri does is takes the brother out in front of everybody, doesn't even ask for the blessings, tells everybody, thank you for coming out today, we really appreciate you, we really love you, and I just want to say I love this man, but I think we're moving too fast, so I'm going to give you this ring back, and we're just going to kind of slow everything down. And Micah was like, are you serious right now? I said, yes, Micah, she is serious. Now, I don't know what it takes to get down on one knee and propose to somebody, but I imagine it's very humbling, and it probably takes a lot of nerve, and it's probably very, I don't think Micah should have went and proposed. Now, that's on him. But because he went through so much, I can understand somebody getting caught up in that moment, not wanting to embarrass him. I can understand all of that. But I would have rather talked to that brother then, in the midst of us having problems, because clearly he would have understood why I was saying no right there in that moment, because we haven't even talked to each other. But to do all of this and to go along with it for however long you've been going along with it, and then say that you don't want to be married, swerve, Sheri. You could have told me that a long time ago, because it already takes a lot to propose somebody. That's a different type of rejection. This ain't just, can I buy you a drink? This is, can I have your hand in marriage? So yeah, I don't know. I wouldn't. Child, we would have been broke. We would have been broke up for good. I don't know if I would have been able to go back, but they stayed together. We find out they went to counseling, which is good because they need it. Because Micah, he is at risk for losing himself in a marriage. I can see that happening to him. And Sheri, she's not good at confrontation. Like, why were you not talking to him for 2 months? That was your man. Even if you was mad at him, you get the closure and then you bounce. You don't just stop speaking to somebody because they did something that you don't like. Okay, if that, you can't do that in your marriage, although people do seem to think they can. They'll get on Facebook and say they single. No, that's not how marriage works. But you can't do that. So anyway, they went to couples counseling. They have their original wedding date still set, but only Micah's family is aware of the wedding date. So again, she's keeping it from her own family. So yeah, we don't have time for Sheri. She needs to grow up and learn how to confront issues head on, and not wait till the last minute. Or maybe she thought her family was going to get there and show out so bad, then she'd have a reason to not marry him. I don't know what she thought, but she should have stepped up to the plate at home. But that's it, y'all. Let me know what you thought about the episode. Like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see y'all for the next video. Bye.